After taking over the bloodline at WrestleMania 40, Solo Sikoa has been slowly but surely adding new members while removing the existing ones. When Reigns got back from his break, he confronted him, since this made him unhappy. Reunited at Survivor Series War Games, the Og bloodline faced off against Solo and his crew, thanks to the organizing efforts of the OTC. A fifth player is required for both squads. While Bronson Reed became a part of Solo's crew, Paul Heyman pulled off an unexpected coup by recruiting CM Punk to round out the Og bloodline. The battle tonight was really equally matched in terms of tempo. Solo Sikoa and his gang were, unsurprisingly, dominating. The new tribal chief locked the cage from inside as Roman Reigns entered the ring as the last member to do so. Because of this, the tribal chief will no longer be allowed to participate in the match. He will need to devise a new strategy to join the competition and aid his other stablemates. Survivor Series 2024 was one of the most surprising events in WWE history, leaving the WWE Universe astonished. In an unbelievable turn of events, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief and head of the bloodline, found himself utterly bereft, abandoned, and eclipsed by his once loyal enforcer, Solo Sikoa. What happened that night did more than just get fans talking. It also laid the groundwork for major changes among WWE's most powerful group. For months, tension has been growing inside the bloodline. Undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns had a firm grasp on power and insisted on absolute devotion from his relatives, especially Solo Sikoa and the USO brothers. The departure of Jey Uso earlier this year and Jimmy Uso's subsequent acts of disobedience brought the once unbreakable tie of the family to its knees. As far as anybody could tell, Solo Sikoa had stayed completely faithful to Reigns despite being the youngest member of the bloodline. He was the ideal enforcer because to his calm personality and deadly skill in the ring. Nevertheless, rumblings of disagreement started to spread as Solo began to doubt his part in Reigns' shadow. The plan all along was for the bloodline to make a triumphant return at Survivor Series. That night, however, everything started to fall apart. A high-stakes tag team bout between Cody Rhodes and LA Knight and Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa was the main event of Survivor Series. Consistent with his usual demeanor, Reigns seemed certain that his domination would be enough to win the match. While all was going on, Solo remained unusually silent, leading many to wonder what was going through his thoughts. It was immediately apparent that Solo was on a whole other level once the match got underway. Demonstrating his customary strength and ferocity, he unleashed savage assault on Knight and Rhodes. Nevertheless, there were pauses that suggested an inner struggle. They were little but discernible. Throughout the battle, Reigns' frustration was evident as he yelled out commands to Solo. The moment when Reigns tried to hit LA Knight with his trademark Superman punch and Solo accidentally tagged himself in was the turning point. An altercation ensued, providing Rhodes and Knight with the opportunity to shift the momentum. Cody Rhodes and Solo were left alone in the ring after a tumultuous scene. The last crossroads was about to be delivered to Solo by Rhodes when an unforeseen event occurred. Rhodes and the crowd were taken aback when Solo unleashed a Samoan spike in response. However, instead of bringing Reigns back into the fray, Solo fixed an intense gaze on his cousin, stopping the tribal chief in his tracks. The atmosphere in the crowd was electric as Solo cautiously faced Reigns. It seemed like Solo would brush it off and go back to supporting Reigns for a little while. On the contrary, he delivered a resounding Samoan spike to the tribal chief, doing the inconceivable. As Reigns collapsed to the ground, his hands clenched around his neck in astonishment. The audience went wild in astonishment. Standing over Reigns, Solo's demeanor remained icy and unwavering. The law enforcer had taken over. As a result of the treachery, the WWE Universe was rocked. The outcome didn't matter as much as the drama that had transpired. even though Cody Rhodes took advantage of the mayhem to pin Reigns and win the match for his side. The betrayal of Reigns by Solo Sikoa was more than that. It was a proclamation of independence. Solo remained alone in the ring, gazing downwards at Reigns as Rhodes and Knight reveled in their triumph. Once impregnable, the tribal chief's dominion has been rocked to its very foundation. With his loyalty now in doubt, Paul Heyman, who had been at ringside, watched in terror. After Survivor Series, I still don't know what happened. Solo Sikoa betrayed Roman Reigns for what reason? Did months of irritation motivate this premeditated action, or was it more of an emotional decision? And what does the future hold for the bloodline as a result of this? The storyline in WWE has changed drastically when Solo betrayed the company. With the bloodline, Reigns has been able to further establish his authority over the organization, something he has done for a long time. The way Solo is acting suggests a new age may be on the horizon, one in which younger superstars like him emerge from Reigns' shadow and forge their own identities. There will be hints in the months before Survivor Series, even if Solo hasn't explained his actions just yet. He sometimes gave the impression that his devotion to Reigns was based on duty rather than true devotion. Solo may have had enough of being considered as little more than an instrument for Reigns to preserve his dominion, being the youngest sibling in the family. By betraying Reigns, Solo solidified his place as a formidable force in the WWE. Another possible outcome of this maneuver is Sikoa going on a solo run, free from Reigns' imposing presence, where he may exhibit his entire range of abilities and charisma. Roman Reigns felt humbled by Survivor Series. The unstoppable head of the bloodline, who depended on his family for support, was betrayed by them. Reigns' tenure as tribal chief may come to an end as a result of this treachery. Reigns must now decide whether to pursue revenge on Solo or tackle the enormous challenge of restoring the bloodline. Reigns will have to face his weaknesses and rethink his leadership style in any direction, but either way, the tale will be interesting. Survivor Series may have been the last straw for the long-running WWE clique known as the Bloodline. The family dynamic is chaotic as a result of Solo Sikoa's renegade behavior and the already strained relationship between Jey and Jimmy Uso and Reigns. With fans eagerly awaiting Reigns' reaction to Solo's treachery, WWE programming in the next weeks is sure to revolve on the aftermath of Survivor Series. Will Reigns try to get even with Solo and restore his power, or will he finally have to admit that he can't continue in his role as tribal chief? More than simply a storyline surprise, Solo Sikoa's devastating betrayal at Survivor Series has the potential to completely change the face of WWE. Solo has shown that he is more than just an enforcer by emerging out of Roman Reigns' shadow and becoming a major event in his own right.